there's all these things about the system that are like completely broken. And I mean, if you talked to me 10 years ago, it's like, can we fix the system? Probably not, maybe not. But where we have come with technology and the advancement of technology and actually the regulatory regime that like regulators are becoming more open to like new systems, and we can completely change the system. And we can change the system for the positive.
Just far enough away from the hustle of Los Angeles proper. Today we're in Manhattan Beach. For me, this place has its own vibe, a true classic Southern California beach community.
Our whole goal with this is basically like democratize this asset class, because historically the only people that can access these type of investments, these real estate loan investments, were extremely wealthy individuals, institutions, and like the name behind Pier Street was always about like leveling the playing field between Main Street and Wall Street. People always ask, they're like, well, what's the ethos behind this? It's like, it's peer-to-peer lending. It's like, no, it's more about like, hey, I should be able to invest in the exact same thing that Goldman Sachs does, or PIMCO does, you know, as an individual.
Brew Johnson, CEO and founder of Pier Street. Brew's a lawyer by trade, but no doubt an entrepreneur by heart. Pier Street is the first marketplace that provides open access to real estate loan investments.
I mean, it goes back 15 years. You know, I started my career as a real estate attorney. That was during the housing bubble. That really was the precursor to the financial crisis. And so nothing that was happening in the market made sense to me, like intuitively. It's like, wow, this was obviously it was a complete house of cards. It was really frustrating. And the problem is that the average person was going to be the person that was hurt the most on it. So anyways, so I ended up leaving the law in 2006 and I went to work for a tech company. It was my brother's tech company that I'd helped him found when I was in law school, but I said, basically, I convinced him to sell the company because I had 100% certainty that this financial crisis was looming. So we sold that company to TripAdvisor and Expedia in July of 2008.
Oh, wow.
When you go back to that was kind of like, I've been frustrated with the overall mortgage system for 10 plus years. But then when I got in the tech world and saw stuff like Lending Club and Prosper were doing early on in peer-to-peer lending and kind of being on a day-to-day operation of a tech company, you say, wow, this is just, you could do something in real estate and mortgages that is so much more efficient and so much better for depositors, investors, borrowers. It kind of takes a lot of the systemic risk out of the system. Technology is so powerful because you can just do things more directly with more transparency, right? And the current system kind of thrives on this opacity with a bunch of middlemen. And so everybody kind of suffers except for those middlemen in the system, you know? Now it's like, I mean, my mom invests on our platform, my mom's friends invest in the platform, my brother invests in the platform, and they're investing around in the same asset that some of the largest financial institutions in the world are investing in. And that's a pretty cool thing of like that democratization of it, and like, it feels like we're doing it the right way, and we're providing a lot of value to a lot of different parties. So.
Location is everything. Brew has the advantage being close to the Los Angeles banking industry and can still build his company within the peaceful backdrop of Manhattan Beach.
When I was a lawyer, I worked my ass off. I probably worked not as hard as I'm working now, but I worked my ass off, but I was in an office building. Well, I was completely unproductive because I'd get so just burnt out being in just an office staring at a screen all day. The fact that you can like, you'd be at a setting like this.
Lack of inspiration sitting in the office all day, right?
So you look out the window, you walk down the street, you reinvigorate yourself, you get back and get after it. So I think it's an advantage from a lot of different aspects. I mean, like, look at, we're 2 blocks from the beach here, which is nice. So if you're like in a startup where you're working, like literally everybody involved in that company is working around the clock pretty much. They might not be at the office around the clock, but they're working around the clock. And at the end of the day, being able to kind of, you know, we do walking meetings down to the pier, for instance, and like go and like discuss actually work that like, okay, we need to discuss, but we can go do it while we're like walking down and breathing like fresh ocean air. So, and like when a candidate's coming to interview, I think this is a big selling point. If you're raising capital for, you know, a tech company, well, Silicon Valley or Northern California is the place to be, right? You know, Brett Crosby, my co-founder, our COO, he wrote an article on Medium where he talked about location, right? his first company that he sold to Google, he said, if I was in the Bay Area, he did this company out of San Diego. He said, if we were in the Bay Area, I would have sold it twice as fast and for twice as much money. They'd rather invest in something right in their backyard than go visit the company, right? So that's
exactly. Yeah, we hear that a lot.
So that's I mean, that's a disadvantage. On the flip side, you know, we talk about how the LA tech scene is evolving, and how more and more tech leaders and CEOs and other people are moving down here. I mean, the lowercase capital, the fact that they're headquartered in LA, I think is a big deal, right? There's more and more of that happening, and so you see more and more VCs focusing on LA because it's a little more of a diverse tech scene, I think.
Yep.
So look, there's definitely some disadvantages, but the pros, I think, at least for our type of business and for what we look for and and what we're doing, I think there's more advantages to being here. There's all these things about the system that are like completely broken. And I mean, if you talked to me 10 years ago, it's like, can we fix the system? Probably not, maybe not. But where we have come with technology and the advancement of technology and actually the regulatory regime that like regulators are becoming more open to like new systems, and we can completely change the system. And we can change the system for the positive. The biggest issue is like, all right, how do you go solve these problems? Like, what is the right way to do it? Because you don't want to solve every problem because it's impossible because there's so many problems. So it's like, for us, like early on, it's like we knew what we wanted to do, and we thought we had the idea of like, all right, instead of like curing all these symptoms, let's cure the disease over the whole system. This isn't a type of business, it's not like a photo sharing app where you can put it out there and people can use it and there's things. You're dealing with people's money, you're dealing in a highly regulated business.
Yeah, it's highly complicated.
Highly complicated. So you want to move fast and break things. But if you break things in the wrong way, it's the business is gone, right? Because there's so many moving parts. So we proved up the business model in a very specific way, and we think we took a very kind of tech approach to this very arcane offline type business of kind of creating this like centralized infrastructure, centralized hub of technology that other kind of type businesses could plug into and improve their business by doing that. I think the aha moment is for us is when we went to like the traditional Wall Street institutions that have are very, very old school. Are used to with banks and doing that stuff, and they looked at what we're doing. We proved to them basically that proof point of like, wow, what you guys are doing is not only incredibly innovative, it's way better than the way other people are doing it. So it's more kind of this market feedback from the investor side, but kind of this like major investment side of the old staid type thing. So when we started onboarding like institutional investors, that like, I think that was kind of like one of these things. Like it wasn't like an aha moment because we had this kind of deep down belief that what we were doing was right, but it was more of kind of like
reconfirming.
An aha kind of like validation kind of thing. And so now we're in this situation where that idea we had 3 years ago or 2.5 years ago of like, hey, let's provide access to any type of investor, whether it's an individual or an institution, to this great asset class. Let's allow them to do it in a better way. That's proving out now.